Hello, everybody. Today, I just want to show you quickly how to map out the support and resistance, which is called price action, using TradingView. So the first thing we need to know are tools. These are our tools right here. Then we're looking for a horizontal line. If it's standing, going left to right, we're looking for our trend lines to find the support and resistance if it's going up or down. So first of all, we want to start in the lowest time frame that I trade in is 15 minutes. That means your trade will be about anywhere from 15 to 45 minutes on average using the bots, the Beach Trader bots. Here we go. So the trend line, we can start right here. We probably would want to start a little higher. So what we want to do is zoom out a little bit or zoom out a little bit. So this is how you're going to zoom out is control in the negative button right next to the 0 at the top. So we're looking at a clear picture on the 15 minutes. We're going to need to use our trend lines, and let's start out where it starts going down. We could either start right here or we could start right there. I'm going to start right here just for today. And then we want to see a line where it's mostly hitting. And what we're looking for is the candle, where the candle goes to the lowest, the color part. We're not so concerned with the wick. But as we see right here, we got a couple candles right here, and then it's hitting this line on this wicks. And then you got some more candles, and then it goes a little bit under. So that's a good support line. It's really not that difficult. Let's look at the top. Once again, we're going to have to use a trend line because it's going down. So here we go going down, and you're looking like somewhere over here. You can kind of cut that out and even collapse it, but I want to make a true one. So, and then you want to expand it so you could trade for the next, 4 or 5 candles with this. So this looks like a good resistance is always at the top. The support is always at the bottom. That means where it's going to hit and go back up. This is where it's going to hit and go back down, according to the bounce strategy and price action, which most people trade. They call it naked trading or price action trading. Most people are trading by just using this, and they don't even know how to use indicators, and they can still make money. So that's on the 15 minutes. This is what we're looking at. There's some other things that I could do if I was going horizontal, like over here and another one right here, but I'm not even going to do that. So we just want, maybe 2 lines at the most with the 15 minutes. Now, the 15 minutes is important, but that's going to be your entry points. But what you really want to know is what is the heavier action? Like there's a wave in back of this little. These are like the 15 minutes when you're doing that. That's like the wave at the seashore. But what is going to happen in the distance? What's the wave going to look like? Far out. It's going to be like the tsunami wave. So now we're going to have to change from 15 minutes and we can go to the 1 hour or the 4 hours. I like going to the 4 hours or one day because that works best with the natural part of the trade. So as we see right here, it's not in the same rhythm that it was at with the trend. And now we see it's going left to right. It's not really going up. It's not really going down. So now we need to go to the horizontal rays and we're looking for where it's hitting a lot. There's a part right here where a lot of buyers started coming in. We see the same thing right here where buyers started overtaking here. So this is a good support. You might need a couple supports right here because there's another, kind of support right here where it's going up. But I'm only going to do 2 lines. That's more technical. I don't want to confuse anybody. On the bottom, when you're doing array, you always want to use a green because that means a buy. Buy is always green. At the top, you want to use for the resistance a red line because that is going to mean that you're going to be selling right here. So we see another one and we see this perforated line. Every time it gets around to this height right here, a lot of sellers come in right here. So we're looking for that. We're going to change the color right here to red. And so this is what we see. We're seeing it's going up on this. It's going down on here. It's not perfect because there's some interaction that's always happening also, but that's okay because what we want to see is the biggest lines. Now, one thing about it is it popped out of the trade right here. And when it comes back down, usually it's going to turn this red line that was a resistance, and this usually becomes the new support when it breaks out. This is called a breakout. It broke out of this groove right here that it was in. And as we can see, it came in this groove over here. It popped in, and that would be Friday the 22nd. And then we look all the way over here, and we're on Friday the 12th. So you're talking about, a whole 20 days of this action where it stayed inside of here and it just popped out. So it broke in. This is what you're thinking. It broke in right here. Okay. And then it stayed in this zone right here for about 20 days. It broke out. And now it looks like it's coming back down to either bounce off of this resistance and keep on going higher, or right here. One thing about the US 30, it's at an all-time high right now. So it's going to break out, but it's going to usually come back in, and then it's going to take a big break like one of these candles are the ones you've seen before to get to an all new level of high. But a lot of traders and a lot of banks, when it breaks out of the all-time high, it usually pushes back in first, and then buyers overtake that. Let's look at what it looks like on the day. So this is the highest it's ever been right here. And if we even look at the weeks, we can look at the weeks, and I want to show you that this is the highest it's ever been. The last time before it was high right here. Right here was a new all-time high. And then it gets up here where it's at the all-time of all-time highs again. So it's very consistent. Now, if we look, what do we think is going to happen? Well, in the short term, it's going to go down. And if you connect, this, and you just drag it out, this is the trend line that we had. And you take the top resistance trend line and you drag it out. We're looking for this trade, and we could kind of measure how many days it's going to take to do this, to come back down here and hit. And then everything's off right here because it's new territory. It's probably going to bounce off of this and go back up. It might not even go all the way down here because it looks like it wants to go back up anyway. So that's how you basically are formulating the US 30. Look at the gold. I'm going to switch to gold. And this is what gold already had mapped it out on the 15 and the 4 hours. But as gold, I started it over here for the support. And what we see is if we would have just took this trade to go up, and just like the bot keeps on calling up, 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 these are all buys from the bot saying it's going up, and it's saying it's going up still. It flatlined right here for days and days and days. But what does it look like it's doing? It looks like it's going to go up continually. Why is it bouncing back down all the time when it hits this red line, this resistance line we made in the 15 minutes? It's because this is the all-time high, and so it reaches over and then it comes back in over and over and over again. So for you to know that, would you want to trade this trade going down? I would say no, you wouldn't. If you're a long-term trader, you're just waiting for the next time it goes underneath this support line because you know it's going to go back up. And you see the trend is indicating the big wave is here that makes it go up, up, up and away. Now let's look at the day. Okay. And this is the highest that gold's ever been, right? This is the week we're looking at. Every candle is a week. You can see that this is the highest this trade has ever been. And so it's ricocheting back and forth because it's so at its all-time high. And every time it hits its all-time high, where the resistance is, it peaks back in within the candle. So for 4 hours, it went over it for maybe an hour or two, but it came right back in. Here we go again with two candles. As soon as it hits this resistance, it goes back in. So to know, this with the bot trading together, you got great wins. You could have got in even right here for it to go up or anywhere underneath this green line, and then you could have cashed out when it went over it. So this is a very beautiful way to trade. It's called price action. I just wanted to show you guys a quick lesson and for you guys to understand what is going on when we're trading and the bot tells you something. If the bot tells you to sell, like right here, this is a good sale. You could have made money over here and got out. You could have made money for a couple, 16 hours when it was down here. You would have made a little bit of money because this is big money because we're talking about high time frames. But I wouldn't take the sell right here. I wouldn't take the sell because it's in an uptrend, 100% uptrend. If you look, right here, it's at a 75% uptrend right here. But during all this time right here, this is in a 100% uptrend. because it's not even touching the moving average. It's in the middle, and that's what guarantees which way it's going. Now, right here, when it tells you a sell, it was going down for a while. Just like this trade right here, to sell, you got it at the top and it went all the way down here, you would have made a lot of money. This is a kind of like an off signal. You could take this trade, but this is like a stop loss. You're not going to lose that much at this point right here. But here we go. It's going up. These are the best trades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades in a row on the 4 hours. And this is days and days. Like if you took this first trade right here, this is on the 27th of August. And the last trade that it spitted out was on the 10th of September. So you would have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades in a row if you would have just took the bot trades. But me knowing that I'm looking at the whole picture in the wave, I wouldn't take it. If it told me to sell right here, I wouldn't take that trade. Even if it told me to sell right here, it's at the top of the resistance, I wouldn't want this trade because I know eventually it's going to pop back up. But look how much money you could have made if you just knew that this resistance was right here and you took it going down. You would have made, for $1, you would have made $1,600. But look at this. If you would have took this trade right here and you took it all the way to where it hit this resistance, you would have made $26,000. Right? Even if you would have took this trade right here, let's go to this one because that's almost the same thing. But if you took this trade, you would have had $21,000. So it stays to be with the trend. The trend's always going to be your friend. And so you want to know what the big wave is. What is the trend in the 4 hours, the 1 day, and the 1 week? What is the trend that is going? And then you want to stay trading with the trend being your friend, even though you can make money going against the trend, the big trend, because it's not going to take a trade unless it's in the right direction. But right here, as you see, this is a sell. And if you would have got in this sell right here, you could have made $1,700 just right here. And this would have been, 12-hour trade that you could have been in. So it's an amazing thing, but try to take the trades that are with the big time frames. Always map it out yourself. These are tools for a reason over here. This is, the trend tool. This is the horizontal tool. They got all kind of stuff where you can measure, but these are just the basic things that you need to know. And then you want to know like how much you're expecting to make off of the ruler. The ruler is going to tell you if you take a trade, when are you going to get out? How much do you want? Well, when it hit right here, you could have got out with $2,800. You could have stayed in. You could have got $6,000 right here. But sometimes all money's not good money. It would have been better if you just got out at the top of this Bollinger Band right here, got back in right here again, seeing you would have kept on winning. But if it started going the wrong way, you wouldn't have took any losses. Right on, you guys. This is the Beast Trader. Hope you guys learned this little fast lesson. This is called price action, but I'm also showing you how to develop your brain and how to use the tools on TradingView to find out where the support and where the resistance is and where are the trend lines that have a support and resistance also. God bless you guys. Have a good day.